Hey guys, from the Thoughtful Gardener. Well, I tried a new technique this year with my tomatoes and it went really well, so I thought I would share it with you. This is called the double cup technique, and certainly you could reuse other cups. You don't have to buy new ones to make this work, but essentially what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 solo cups. One, we're going to put water in, and then the second one, we're going to put our tomato start in. And you can see the roots are already coming out the bottom here. It's just after Mother's Day. It's time to go in the garden here in central Pennsylvania. Our last frost is pretty much done, although last year, May 17th was our last frost. So I just have to keep an eye on the weather, but it looks pretty good. So how did I do my starts? Well, cherry tomato seeds, you might have noticed, are really expensive. This is my favorite cherry tomato. I'll put the name of it in the link that I have grown every year. It is a yellow cherry tomato, and it is literally like sugar in terms of the sweetness content. But what I did is I started the seed in this floating seed tray. I will put a link to that as well on my Amazon page. My Amazon page doesn't cost you anything, but if you click through, it'll actually give me a tiny commission, which helps me do these videos, and that's one way you can support this channel. Now, in this particular case, I actually created this baby tomato from this plant. So this package of cherry tomato seeds was $8. I am telling you, seeds are getting outrageous. So if you're buying organic produce this year, you have a tomato you love, I'd encourage you to save the seeds. But I wanted to grow this one because I've grown it before and it's my absolute favorite. I just eat them straight out of the garden like candy. So what I did is I took what's called a sucker. You might not be familiar with this term, but essentially what happens here in the gap are these little suckers, and you can break these off or pinch these off when they're really small, because we want this plant to focus now on this, which is flowering, so it can make cherries for us. But if I wanted to start a new tomato here, I could just pinch this new one that's got a couple of leaves of growth. You want at least 2 leaves. That way, that's going to power it to be able to grow. In this particular case, again, with this one, I started with seed in one of these floating seed trays. You can see the roots on this. It's really pretty incredible. I have really been very happy with floating seeds. I've started tomatoes a lot of ways, but this one I find works really well because tomatoes are complete waterlogs and you want to keep water on them as much as you can. So in this particular case, I took one of these and I put it in here. So I pinched off this little shoot here, or you can cut it with a pair of very sharp snips. And then I just put it down in here, and this is about 2 weeks of root growth. You can see it's really, really impressive. Now, tomatoes do not love being transplanted. So this is why I love this double cup method, because we're only going to transplant them once in the cup and once outside. Now, I live here in central Pennsylvania, zone 7A. It's too cold to start tomatoes, and it's really too cold for our soil, not the air. The soil temperature needs to be 60 or above, and that means you need consistent nights of 50 or above to allow that soil to be warm enough for your tomatoes and your peppers to be happy. So I've been waiting for that magic time. Get a soil thermometer. It's on our Amazon site. This is really a no-brainer. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this transplant and you're going to plant it in the soil. Now, I am not particular about soil, but I have had really, really good results with this particular soil, which I'll link in the comments. This is what my growers use on native plants. It has mycorrhizae fungi in it. I have had great results. It's more expensive, but I think it's completely worth it. I will tell you, it comes out of the package really dry, so you want to make sure that you wet it thoroughly. And then essentially what you're going to do is you're going to plant this tomato all the way up to the top 2 leaves. That's on purpose. If it has more than 2 leaves, you can strip them off, but 2 leaves is what we want here. And you're just going to plant it very, very deep in the solo cup. So when you put it in, it's going to be really tiny. And then we're going to put the solo cup inside a second solo cup with water. Now, I make sure that these constantly have water. What's great about that is the tomato does not suffer at all It loves, loves, loves water. In my own garden, we put Ollas in the ground. We have a video of how this Asia technique is ideal for tomatoes. The Ollas are clay pots. You could have a local potter fire these for you, or cheap man's version, you can take 2 clay pots and you can glue them together, and then on the top you would just cover that hole. So I'm telling you that this has been my most successful tomato starting of any tomatoes I've ever done. This stem is extremely strong. It is very stocky. That's what we want in this tomato plant. We don't want a long stringy plant. I kept the grow lights very low over this and just kept moving them up. And then I've been hardening them off outside for the last 2 weeks, bringing them inside at night when it's below 50 degrees. So these are going in the garden later today. I hope this is helpful for you. 2-cup technique, highly recommend. This is a must do for tomatoes. And now I've got additional ones, which I'll be potting up later today. Hey guys, did you like this content? It's really helpful if you like what we're putting on this channel that you actually make a comment. Liking the comment and subscribing to the channel, we love having you here. But what's really important is this engagement. The algorithm likes it when you guys comment on the videos. Whether you have a positive or negative comment is okay. If this is not helpful content to you, or maybe you have a technique that you want to share with people in this audience, I'm great with it. But the algorithm is what it is, and the algorithm likes it when you guys make comments on the video. So help me out here. Just leave a little comment, a little thumbs up, an emoji. We like the content, we hate the content. Tell me what we could do better, and we'll try to make a video just for you. Thank you so much for being here. Garden thoughtfully, and take care.